According to Bishop Oyedepo, he said if you tell him that Nigeria is not working, you will not be his friend. And it generated a whole lot of reactions. We Nigerians, because of the situation in the country, we are looking for people to take side with us, to tell us, that the country is failing. So what is your take?
Oh, first of all, I am on the side of Bishop Oyedepo. I am a Nigerian. I'm not Biafra or whatever. Secondly, you need to have a country. So all those your dream countries don't exist as of now. And then the people that will also become citizens of those countries are still these people who are in Nigeria now. They haven't changed. They have the same characteristics. So when you get to your country, you will still have the same nonsense. The same zoo-like situation you call Nigeria in your country. What is important is that we need to fix this country. That's what the bishop is talking about. You go to other countries of the world and they're well made. Someone made them. It will interest you to know that in the 1930s, people were defecating on the streets of New York. And there was cholera everywhere. But it took people who came and said, no, we can't go on having cholera. We can't go on defecating on the streets. Let's have the water system. And they imported the idea of a water system from Britain to the United States. And then, of course, cholera stopped. But if it's here, you start looking for who to blame. Your grandmother in the village, my neighbor who is very wicked, or that I'm poor, I don't have money. And the problem with us is that we only complain and we do nothing. Where you live, you have built a mansion, you have a jeep, yet there's no road passing through where you live. Yet you build your houses on drains. Alright? You don't manufacture anything, you import every single thing that you consume. And you love to travel abroad for holidays, but you don't have any place around the country where you can visit. How will the economy grow? There is nothing wrong with the country, but there is something wrong with the people. Alright? So the country has no problem. There is no tribe in Nigeria that is indigenous to Nigeria. Every tribe in Nigeria came to this country, came to this entity, came to this land, starting with the Igbos and so on and so forth. We all came here. We came here because we were looking for greener pastures, we were looking for places to settle. And we have come here to settle. So why don't we make it habitable? All these other countries you go to, people made them. People cleaned them up. People invented things. But here you don't invent. You want to rush to condemn the country and go to another man's country. So why would I support you? Nigeria is good. And Nigeria can only be as good as those who are Nigerians.
I beg to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are an Igbo man.
Yes, I am.
And then
I'm not a Biafran. I'm an Igbo Nigerian.
That is what I want to ask you. You are not a Biafran and you are an Igbo man. So why are you not in support of Biafra?
I can't be in support of an Eldorado. I can't be in support of wishful thinking. The Igbo man in the 60s dominated this country. We know that. The 65% plus of Igbo people are living outside the country and developing every other part of Nigeria. Therefore, we have a stake in this country. And if we have a stake in this country, we also have a stake in making the country better so that we can thrive. The Igbo man is a retailer. He buys and sells. And he needs people to sell to. Now, if he rushes back to the east, who is he going to sell to? He has to sell to people. And he sells where he is. And any place you go to and you don't find an Igbo man, the place doesn't exist. So where are you rushing to? The whole country is your constituency as an Igbo man. So make money from Nigeria. Alright? And what I want the Igbo people to start thinking about is, why don't we take a step further in what we do and begin to go into manufacturing, to industrialization, not just retailing what is produced in another man's country. So when you begin to have industries, you begin to have money that is grown, not money that just comes and goes. And then because you need to invest it, so you build houses, you marry wives, you buy cars. All right? Okay. So why would I accept an Eldorado that doesn't exist? where we can contribute to Nigeria, make Nigeria better, make Nigeria much more prosperous, and we will benefit because we've got the thinking faculty. So I cannot support the people who are not thinking. Go to Igbo land, that's the most expensive place to live in. Go to Igbo land, that's the most underdeveloped place. Yet you have people who are rich. Do we have any Igbo company that is quoted in the stock exchange? Which one is quoted? Alright, how many industries do we have in Igbo land? How many governors in Igbo land are investing in Igbo land or rather stealing their money? Take for instance Imo State. Since Sam Bakwe was the governor of Imo State and died, who has developed Imo State? Go to Abia State, you have governors who have been stealing from the state and the state is rotten. Yet Aba was a hub of buying and selling in the 60s. And now Aba is the hub of industrialization in terms of shoemaking, leather factories, clothing factories and the rest of it. So why can't we? Now, by the way, do you know that these Italian companies, it is in Bangladesh they sold those shirts very cheap because of cheap labor, that they stamp this and that and that and sell. That's what Aba is turning to now. Alright, so Aba is coming back. So why are you rushing? That's the point. So I cannot believe in a Biafra that doesn't exist. And now when you tell me marginalization, there was a time Igbos were also marginalizing others.
People once marginalized others in this country?
Absolutely. In the 60s, who were in charge of this country? What the Igbos? So why can't we do that again? Why did we start dropping out of school in the 80s and start going to trade? You go to import the things other people produced. If the Chinese did that, would there be the Chinese economy now that you go to buy? Would there be the American economy? Would there be the British economy, the Canadian economy, the German economy, the French economy? So how are they built? Manufacturing, industrialization. So if the Igbos think that they are that good, let them begin to manufacture. Let us begin to have companies taken to the stock exchange to raise funds, okay, to get the industries going. All right. Let us go into research and development. That is how people are made. All right. That's how people are made. Not you want Biafra. You want Biafra for what? See, I've had the fortune of going around this country, and I know that every part of this country is marginalized, including the so-called North. So when someone who is in power, who is benefiting from the economic advantages, begin to tell me he wants to do what do you want? When Chief Obafemi was the vice chairman of the ruling council, during the war and after the war, he made sure that Yorubas had advantages, and then they bought shares in companies, and so they began to become chairmen of companies, super PAMSECs, and so on and so forth. So he helped them develop the mentality of going to conquer. And now that they have moved from opposition to the mainstream of Nigerian politics, that they are now ruling the country anyway by proxy, where are they rushing to? Now, what is happening with the Yoruba land is that those who were part of stealing Nigeria dry and are no longer in government, they now want to grab power from the side, from the back door. That's what is happening. Serious-minded people don't talk about the Oduduwa Republic or Oduduwa themselves. Where is the Oduduwa Republic? Where? The Yorubas are better off in Nigeria because now there is nobody that will become president in Nigeria that will not need the Yorubas. And you must compensate them. They have made themselves what they should be. Power brokers. That's what the Yorubas are. So why should you follow someone who wears charms on his body and says he's something Igbo or whatever? But go now, he has a duplex, he has jeeps. You don't have. Why must you be listening to people who are using you, riding on your back to become who they are, who they want to be? Alright, is that what Nnamdi Kanu has done to the Igbos? Look at the Igbo young people he has fed with so much propaganda, and they are not thinking of who they are. And then you tell me, for instance, that an Igbo man is a Jew. That's balderdash. How can I be a Jew? I'm a Nigerian. I'm not a Jew. I have nothing to do with being a Jew. See, the only Jews are those who took part in the covenant with God at Mount Sinai. Those are the Jews. You didn't go there. Alright, you were not part of that covenant and you're telling me you're a Jew. What sort of Jew are you? You're an Igbo man. Develop Igbo land and let the Jews now come and meet you and say, how are you doing? You say, I'm good. But I don't have to go and meet them. Alright, for some of us who have the fortune of being abroad, probably being born abroad, it's exciting to be a Nigerian. Because you can imagine the level of freedom we have here. And people are protesting. I don't know why they should protest against freedom. President Muhammad Buhari is setting the stage for us to ask ourselves, who are you? When President Olusegun Obasanjo came in here, these are the things I thought he would have done. Security, agriculture, education, alright, and then civics education. He didn't do that. Buhari has come, he told us, let's fight corruption. And you cannot fight corruption just in 8 years. For instance, if in the 70s and 80s we had a conscious government that said, oh, Ebonyi rice will become national rice, and then they started dehusking, destoning, shaping, and making the rice what it should be, and then Ebonyi rice, instead of you spending 4 hours to pick stone, alright, that had developed. By now, Thailand wouldn't have been our source of rice. It would have been a Ebonyi state. Now we have 23 states producing rice. It never happened before. Now we produce fertilizer in Nigeria. We were importing. Alright? Now even Dangote is trying to export urea, which is what you used to make fertilizer. Right? So we are doing a lot of things. We're exporting sorghum now in Nigeria. You know that. We're exporting maize in Nigeria. If not for insecurity, we would have really got to a point where we would not say we're feeding ourselves. Now, we can establish grazing areas so that hides and skin industry can grow. The shoe leather industry in Aba can grow. Alright? Why should somebody take a cattle from Sokoto to Ogbomosho and you tell me it's tradition? That's stupid. People should tell them that that's stupid. So those that give them AK-47 to shoot other people are the people who are culpable in Nigeria. The problem with us is that we keep creating problems, keep shouting about problems, but we never provide solutions. And because people want to steal from the common till. But if you don't want to steal, what have you got to lose? Buhari has nothing to lose. You keep shouting his name here and there. He has nothing to lose. But you're here. You cannot manufacture spoke. Yet you are complaining. The man has a ranch. He has always had a ranch. He's going back to his ranch in Daura in Katsina. What do you have? You have goats. You have sheep. You don't think that you need a grazing area. Should they be going about destroying people's bush? In the 80s, it was happening in the east. Until they made a law that you must pen your sheep and your goats. What is that? Is that not ranching? So what we have is our problem. Don't say it's Buhari's problem. It's our problem. And if we are serious in this country and make governance from the federal, state, local government and world level, you will see that things will be organized. No kidnapper is from another country. He's a Nigerian. Alright? Yeah, okay. So in the 90s you used to have Amroba no be spirit. He's your neighbor. And so if you then know that Amroba no be spirit is your neighbor, then you will then know that when you see someone who is affluent and the person has no visible source of livelihood, you report to the police. And okay, now this is a country where somebody will score 14 and another person will score 80 and then they come to the same school. It's stupid. Look, if I'm a northerner, let me tell you, I will abhor that nonsense. I will make sure my people go to school and compete, at least score up to 60. Let them now score 80. Gradually we'll get to a point where we'll overtake them. That is what I think the northern governors should be thinking about. Not thinking about of establishing more universities. This country has so many higher institutions of learning. And we produce hopeless people. But people who are not intelligent. Alright? These are the same people who also want to go abroad to where others have made well. Alright? Why don't you make your own country so that others will come to your country? It's possible. Alright? Nobody can be a fool in his own country except the person that calls himself a fool. That's what we are in this country because we call ourselves food. This is a country where somebody says is a zoo, and the person is living in another man's country, or was anyway before situations change. And people went there. This is a country where people are doing yahoo, 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 yahoo. They are building mansions. Yet those people are not thinking that we need to start manufacturing in this country. Before 2017, we were importing toothpicks. This country. Now we are not importing toothpicks. And we have so many things to do. So when you now tell me, oh, the country is bad, who made it bad? You and I made it bad. So let's fix the country. That's basic.
Well, thank you very much. I don't really think I have to ask any question further because you have explored everything, answer all the questions. Thank you very much once again for your
Thank you very much.
I will hope to see more of you on Hero TV.
It's a pleasure, always.
Alright, thank you. My name is Asetonia Nnamdi. Please follow us on all our social media platforms. Bye for now.